Hello, and welcome back to the Simz Serotonin podcast, where we encourage you to action your three G's to grow, glow, and go after your goals, your passions, your dreams. Today, I have the lovely Hana with me, so I'm going to hand over to Hana to introduce herself by answering the question. Hana, who are you, and how are you truly feeling today?
Oh, I love that intro. Firstly, grow, glow, and what is it? Grow, glow, and go.
Go after your
I love
dreams.
that. I
Yes.
love that. I feel like that is so aligned to like what who I am. And who I am. I guess that's like a really like broad question, but I would probably take the approach of like who I've been and who I'm like want to be. But growing up, I probably let's say primary school, I was a lot more. I was confident, but I didn't find my people. Going into I went to like a state school, so like in the UK. I live in like a suburban area in London, so like on the outskirts. I would say like the majority of students were like white. So I was like part of a minority, so I don't really fit in, to be honest, in school. Especially in primary school. Going into secondary school, I think because I knew that I don't fit in as much, I kind of like reined in my confidence, which is quite sad. But I also found my friends that were in that like we had our own little group. So I was quiet, but I was a lot more like finding my people. I met some of like my best friends in secondary school. Um, that are literal sisters to me. I don't have any sisters. I'm a like only sister. I'm the eldest, so it was really
Mm.
nice to meet like girls as well and have like that sisterhood. And then going into uni as well, I really like. I was like, this is a new chapter. I moved to another city. I moved to Birmingham, and I think I really found myself. I was like, no one knows me in this area. Like I can be my full self. I found myself. I know what I like. I know who I like. Um, and yeah, like navigating university life is really hard. You're in a whole new city, you're around new people, um,
Mm.
but it also like shapes you. Like you kind of figure out who you want to be. I think for me, because I think, still navigating like my religion and where I want to be, I it was a bit harder because in university you're around a lot of, we call it fitna in Islam, but like around a lot of things that can drive you away from the religion, what we practice in Islam. But I feel personally, it kind of showed me who I want to be. Uh, Even having experiences where I didn't align fully with what I wanted to be made me like learn from it, and in the future, like that's an
Mm.
experience when you're. I think that's a really universal experience when you're on uni and you're alone. You're not with your parents. You don't get told to pray. You don't get told to be this certain person. You have to like learn it yourself. And I think I really learnt my religion in that time by myself. Um, then leading into like the work life, again, you're still like in your early 20s, you're still figuring out. I don't think there's like people need to tell you like, oh, you need to have anything figured out. You're still figuring out you personally, and also like how you work best, which type of like environment suit you. Are you a corporate babe? Are you an entrepreneurial girl? Like for me, I was really like I was figuring out. I'm still figuring out like who I am in the workplace, and I feel like we can definitely like dive into that more later. But yeah, that's like an overview of me, how I'm truly feeling today. Thank you so much for asking that, by the way. Um, I feel like I'm feeling blessed to like experience another Ramadan. Also like obviously come close to my religion this month. This is the month in Islam where we come closer to our Lord. We also have like family time, so it's really nice to be around family, and also like
Mm.
meeting like-minded people. Even this podcast, like with Seema, like I've worked alongside
Oh.
Seema. I love Seema. She's got that amazing vibe. She's always like lighting up rooms, and like being around girls like that have similar interests to you, and you can like just have
Mhm.
like flow state conversations. Like yes, I
Yes.
love that. So yeah, that's me, and that's how I'm feeling.
Thanks so much for sharing, Hannah. I feel totally the same about you. I love her. Literally, this is a flow state convo. And before we started recording the podcast, we were already having a flow
Yeah.
state convo. We realized that we should probably start recording.
Yes.
But um, I love hearing about how like your journey, what you said about university, and how you're grateful for the experiences that maybe didn't feel the most you, but because you're grateful for them because they
Yeah.
brought you closer to who you are today. You learned from them, and you talked a lot about Ramadan and how blessed you feel, how you're truly feeling right now. I would love to hear more about that and how what Ramadan is to you, what is the purpose of this month, and you are how you're trying to get more connected this month.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Yeah, so Ramadan, for like the viewers watching that don't know too much about it, it's a time where Muslim people fast, and we're doing that like to show God like our devotion to like the religion, come closer to him in this time, because when your body is also like, I think there's a science behind it. I don't know exactly. You might know, Seema, but like your body is like preparing um like it people fast as well that are non-Muslim, just for the
Mhm.
cleansing of their body. It kind of like purifies you. You have that month. Like I feel like we're so lucky as Muslims. So like I saw this video and it was like on TikTok. It's like Muslims are so diva coded because every month they get to have they literally get a month every year to like reset their goals, self-care. Like it literally is that in a more like TikTok, we can say, way. But overall, I love Ramadan for that, because I, as well as like being around family and stuff is great. Um, it is a time for yourself. Like you need. I think this Ramadan, personally, I may have started. I started. I don't know how you felt, but I wasn't really feeling like it was Ramadan at the start. I didn't feel the vibes in the first
I
week.
agree.
I feel like a lot of people have been saying that, but for me personally, it was because I wasn't. I think I was too much focusing on like the culture around Ramadan of like being around friends. I was going to events. I was doing like I also like do support in like freelancing for modest brands. So I was outside a lot and I wasn't really inside, like journaling how I felt, learning, reading Quran,
Mhm.
actually doing what we're meant to do this month. So for me, I just, the day that I had off, like the day I had at home fully, I just took that time, like that opportunity to like reset. And you can literally do this any time of the year, but I feel like in Ramadan, the things that we have to achieve, we also pay zakat. We do that all year, which is where Muslims give charity. It's like it's not it's an obligatory charity that we give. It's 2.5% of our wealth, so it's a small percentage, but it's like a over um, it's over the year, and all these things that God has put for us as Muslims that I've learned from my own experience, as I said, like going to uni alone, like being young, like living alone, and just experiencing life. I feel like I've learned myself, like regardless if my parents taught me, I'm still learning. Social media can also be great to actually learn things. I learn a lot of things from TikTok that I never knew about my religion, and like how it is peaceful, and it's not, I like how the media portrays it. It's not like this crazy religion where you're like, it's so strict. We have to do this and this, and that's why like now, because I learned it all myself, I kind of love it more. If in a
Mhm.
sense, I think if I was kind of forced to, um, Alhamdulillah, we say in Islam like thank
Alhamdulillah.
God, right? It basically means in Arabic. But my parents they never really forced me, so I feel like I found that path alone. They were quite chill, but they always taught us what is right and wrong. And I remember once I did something wrong. My dad found something wrong that I did, and he didn't like it, and he was basically like, "I'm not gonna get angry at you." Well, he didn't get angry at me. I was expecting shouting. I was to be in a lot of trouble. But he basically was like, this was like when I was in university. He was like, "You know right from wrong. Like we've taught you." Like it was giving more disappointed. And I think for
Mm,
me, that kind of like shaped me as a person, because like
yeah.
it's different how parents, like I feel like your whole childhood kind of shapes who you are. So that's why I like when you ask me who am I, that's who I am. But yeah, Ramadan,
Mhm.
love Ramadan. So excited for this Ramadan. Last Ramadan is where I was telling Seema at the start of the podcast. I kind of had the intention like I wanna start wearing hijab, and alhamdulillah, thank God, me and Seema accomplished that this year, 2020
Yeah.
2025, and we started 2026 strong. It is a journey, it is hard, but I feel like it is something, it's another thing that you're navigating, and it's okay to like navigate stuff. It's okay to find yourself, especially I'm 23. I think Seema, how old are you? Like 22 maybe?
22. Mhm.
22, yeah. Like we're still quite young, we're still figuring out life, and it's okay. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I feel like I was going on that one.
That was so nice to listen to, Hannah. I loved how you talked about like everything, and how Islam really promotes peace. And
Yeah.
the story you shared about your dad, like not like getting mad at you, but like just conveying like disappointment, and that like that connection that we have to our parents, where we it hurts us to see them upset, and like that kind of influence leading you to instead wanting to do better is more impactful than something like, like,
Being
I don't
shocked.
know, like shouting
Being
or anything
told
like
to
that.
do everything when you're, yeah.
Yeah, and that's not even like a religion thing. That's just like a
Yeah,
general thing with parents, right?
right.
And like the people around you, your loved ones, like you don't want to hurt them. Um, and I guess that's a whole other topic of like interpersonal influence and how to like like
Yeah,
how to lead by example.
yeah.
But that a lot of Islam is, I guess, influence and examples, right? Like we look up to people, we're inspired by people. And like we were just talking about our friend from work, Hani, who inspired both of us with hijab. And I'm so proud of both of us today as like Queen Hijabis, the
Yeah.
Queen Hijabis that we are rocking it. And speaking of hijab, I would really, I'd love to hear more about what hijab is to you and what about it you find to be beautiful. Also because World Hijab Day was not that long ago, so maybe if you
Yes.
could talk a bit about that and maybe like your favorite parts of it, anything around the lines of hijab and its beauty.
Yes. Firstly, can I just say I love this conversation. It's literally flow state. Like me and Seema just like meant for this. Like I love it. Um,
Yes.
but on the question of hijab, yes, we had our first World Hijab Day. I did feel really recognized at that point. We were also before the call, we were talking about our journey, how we came across someone in our workplace who like promoted us to wear hijab, like how we had our different experiences. Maybe we could touch on that as well. I think that would be good for like understand, like basic understanding, and then definitely tell you like how I feel now about it. But like growing up again when I was younger, so in that primary period where like I was like just a weird outspoken Hana, didn't really care what people said. Um, I wore hijab. I wore hijab again, still didn't feel like I fit in, so I was kind of wearing it based off like people in my area wearing it, my family friends, my friends in school wearing it. I didn't really have a purpose to it. I was not forced. My mum does not wear hijab. I just wanted to, literally just wanted to. Um, I didn't really have like I was kind of like a tomboy, I would say when I was younger. I have two brothers, so like I was wearing like the most funkiest hijab styles with the most funkiest outfits. Like the coordination was crazy. I did not care. I did not care. My mum was like fixing me up all the time. My mum's more of a girly girl, so she was like fixing me up. And then came to secondary school, and I was in year 11, and I think that was a time when I was like fully. I think I was people pleasing. I would say definitely. I was trying to. When you're in secondary school as well, I think there's a lot of like societal norms and like what people think is cool, and like I definitely think looking back in hindsight I was trying to fit in a lot, hence why I think now I don't try it at all. I want to please only like my lord. I only want to please people that make me happy, and just myself literally. But in that stage I definitely took it off in year 11 because I did not feel comfortable. I didn't understand why I was wearing it. I didn't have a purpose, and that's not a wrong thing because that's basically what led me to it now. Then going through university, still like figuring out myself. I definitely had those days where I loved not wearing hijab. Like I was doing all the different hairstyles. I was a lot more unmodest in my fashion sense, but genuinely just seeing the like effect it had on me, I think like it really made me, those years really made me know the deeper meaning to why I want to wear it. Like in our religion, it is known that it is said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would recognize us as like one of his people. So just all these things kind of made me like understand, okay, this is not right for me. And I just slowly, it wasn't straight away, towards the end of uni started feeling like in my final year I was like, I like being covered. It's nice. I also feel recognized. I think this is more, actually I'll get more into that when you wear hijab. I don't know if you experienced that, but when I started wearing hijab I felt really recognized by like Muslim people. Like
Mm.
definitely like you be walking down the street and another hijabi will smile at you, like you just have that connection, and I love it. So yeah, I literally, because I knew I had this itch, I was like, this feels wrong what I'm doing right now in uni, and now I'm going into my work life. And I have that itch, but I also have those like those, we call it like whispers from the shaitan, like the devil. Um, but we don't see it like that. We just see it as people. We just see it as like overthinking. Like overthinking is from the shaitan in our religion, because as overthinking doesn't really promote good things. Sometimes it's good to overthink to a level to have some like emotional capacity and like emotional intelligence. But I think too much can actually like make you steer away from things that you'd want to do, not do things. So I think for me it was like, oh my god, how am I gonna put this hijab on? We were both saying like in like our corporate jobs, in front of everyone, like. I know everyone would give me such nice feedback. I don't think there would be any judgmental comments from the team that I was around or people I would see in the workplace. But it was in my head. It was literally in my head, like, oh my god, like I'm gonna come on Teams now. I'm gonna be a different person. People are gonna stare at me. They're gonna think like, oh, what is she? What is this? Like, what does she? Why did she do this? And it was just everything in my head, genuinely. And I think Seema said the same thing. Like, it was a lot harder to do that. But I did want to, and Seema actually hosted. So that was my first corporate job. I was working at Adobe, and that's where I met Seema. And Seema was hosting a Ramadan event, and I think in my team I didn't have many Muslim people, so I really like wanted to find my people in work. I got along with a lot of like interns and stuff because I knew you guys were around the same age range. But also just wanting to be around Muslims was like really important to me in the workplace, because these people get you, like you don't need to explain too much. And feeling understood is like amazing at work. And not that I don't think my company, I think if I set those boundaries and people knew who I was before I started, it would be easier. uh, but yeah, going in without hijab, having an experience where like all the Muslims are in one place, for me, like that was amazing. Like I met so many people. I didn't even know there was that many Muslims, honestly, in my workplace.
Right?
Literally, I
Same.
didn't know. I didn't know. And then I met this girl called Hani. Hani's getting a feature, guys. Hani better listen to this.
You need to join this episode, man.
Literally, she needs to join. We should do like a three-way episode next time. But Hani, we met Hani. I met Hani. Seema, I don't know if you knew Hani before, but you guys,
I did,
you
yeah.
introduced me on that day, and just speaking to her, that was her first day wearing hijab. I hope we're allowed to say this. But it's a nice story. I really love it. So it was her first day wearing hijab, because I was like feeling to had that itch to wear it, but I was still like had those like nervous, like that nervousness, those whispers and everything in my own head, overthinking. I just wore an abaya, which is like a modest dress.
I
So,
remember you looked so good, mashallah.
oh,
I was like, wow.
but I didn't wear the
I
head
was like, I wish
covering.
I were in Avaya.
Because it was Ramadan themed, it like fit and
Yeah.
it felt like the most comfortable, easy time to do it. So I did that, and it was like for me, it was like slowly easing my way into it. And meeting Hani on that day, she was like, Hana, literally, Hana. It was crazy. We had similar names. My name's Hana, but she literally put her hijab on. No, wore her hijab the first day to the office. She told me she was nervous. She told her work colleagues before the day before, she's like, guys, I'm gonna wear hijab, just to like get that like level of like awkwardness out of the way. And she slayed, guys. She looks so good. Her
She
style, like
did.
Allah Mubarak, her style like already looked like she's been wearing hijab. I don't even know how I could imagine her without hijab. I didn't know her before hijab, but Allah Mubarak really suited her. And speaking to her after, Seema also told me on that day she really wants to wear hijab. And the fact that me and Seema had this like same like low-key connection in something that we want to do, but we didn't know it, and we had such like I really want Seema to talk about her experience as well, because I really love her, like how our journeys are so different, but it like ended us up in the same place, which is crazy. Um, but yeah, she literally wore her hijab. No, she wanted to wear hijab. Hani was telling me, and now post Adobe, Seema's smashing it in her final year. I am doing freelance.
Scam.
I'm figuring myself out in the workplace, but I've also figured myself out in what I wanted to do with wearing hijab, modesty. I've been like so blessed to like be a part of working with modest brands, which also like made it easier for me, because like
Go
getting to wear
girl.
like nicer buyers all the time, like they're expensive, like they're really expensive, but like it's fun. It's like I get to have fun with it. Um, and yeah, I went to Umrah, which is like pilgrimage in Islam. So that kind of also reinforced my journey with hijab, and different experiences, as I said, across just made me want to wear it. So I believe it is a journey. I think a lot of people say it's not. I think and everything in Islam is a journey. Everything in life is a journey, but it's genuinely like we know it's some when you start wearing it, you kind of know, you start learning as well, part of the journey, why we have to do it, and why it's not a bad thing. It's actually a really great thing. Um, and yeah, like the having those. I think the initial question was, I like derailed, but like, was, what does hijab feel most like? What do you feel hijab is for you? And for me, it is literally like um not only protecting myself, but like being recognized as like part of like a Muslim. Like you know straight when you see me, like who, what I believe in, my beliefs. You like meeting like-minded girls is a lot easier. Like just having a community as well. Throughout my like life, I don't feel like I had much community, so I'm starting to get that. And actually my friends, a lot of my friends are Muslim, alhamdulillah, but not a lot of them do wear hijab. So I'm going to events now, being around girls that do wear hijab, having Seema as well, like having another sister in Islam is just amazing. Even if you don't like, you don't have friends that don't wear hijab, it's still nice because you relate on like some another level that people that are not in your religion. Because for me, like Islam and religion is like, it's not a strict routinely thing. It's more of like part of just my everyday life. Like every single thing I do is for my religion, but it's like so subconscious. Like it's a nice thing. And I think a lot of people feel like, oh, religion is something where it's so strict, where do you have to do like so and so, and you have, if you're not like this type of person, you're going to hell. Like only Allah, like God, Allah means God in Arabic, can judge us. And if we're doing our best, that's all that matters. And I feel like I started feeling to do my best, and in that period of university, like work life, because I genuinely like fell in love with it. Not because I was forced to, my parents never forced me, not because I saw like I'm gonna go to hell or anything like that, because I knew that this actually, like through all the good and bad experiences I had, this made me feel peace. This makes me feel happy. Anytime I have a struggle, I can literally just go to my God, like Allah, like God. We believe in one God, and I don't need to like. I can ask my friends like few times for some advice, but the real person who's gonna solve it is God at the end of the day. So yeah, I feel like I covered a lot in that, but yeah, I think also like it would be nice to hear your journey as well, Seema, because your journey is also really inspiring. It's different to mine, but I think things can be different. It's a journey at the end of the day, and I really love to hear it as well when I was listening to it.
I love how you like explained everything and how much you talked about the beauty of Islam, and like every time you mentioned an anecdote or a little story, you linked it back to like, oh, and this is why in our religion XYZ dot dot dot. You said it so you should. I could like see you one day like giving a lecture about the beauty of Islam. Like, mashallah, you
Oh,
said it so
that's a,
eloquently.
like such an elite compliment.
But yeah, it's true. Like hijab really is a journey, and everyone has a different journey, right? Like you and I had different journeys, but
Yeah.
also it's united us here. And what you said about like seeing a hijabi when you're walking on the street and just giving them a smile, like it's crazy how like subhanallah that connection is just it's it's like no other connection. I
Yeah.
was on a trip with my friends hiking in Portugal, and we were like we barely saw any hijabis like that whole trip, but when we saw two other hijabis, instantly we just started, yeah, like we got, it's as if I had known them my whole life. Like we just started
Oh.
talking as if we, and then we went for dinner together. Like these are two strangers, mind you. Like, and it's just literally, if we had all not been wearing hijab, God knows if that would have even happened, you know?
Mm.
So like it really bonded us and like gave us that common ground. And it's not like a normal common ground. Like let's say you and I both grew up in London. It's not even
Yes,
like
it's
that.
not.
It's just
Yeah.
like it's an element of
It's
faith and
deeper.
spirituality
Yeah.
that can connect you in different ways. So I'm so grateful for the fact that it opens that door. And now that like I can compare the experience having not worn hijab for most of my life versus now, I'm like, whoa, like this is amazing. But also to your point, I think it does also what's it called? It doesn't mean that like not wearing, you can't do that with people who don't wear the hijab. Like I
Yeah.
would say like I've always felt like an internal hijabi is something that like my
Yes.
friends would call
Oh,
me.
that's a good way to say it.
Right? It's like it's just
Yeah,
that now on the outside it's visible, like how I am
exactly.
internally. But I
Yes.
was always someone who felt like very spiritual, very faithful. And once I like was when I would open up about that or talk about it, because you obviously couldn't see it when I wasn't wearing the hijab,
Yes.
then I would also have that same connection with people who
Mm,
who were wearing it, or
yeah.
people, other people of faith. So but it's true that because it's visible, like it's it facilitates the that relationship
Yeah,
building now a little bit more
definitely.
easily. So yeah, I like that you mentioned that. And in terms of my journey, it's quite a long story, but I would say like to keep it more concise, because I want to spotlight you this episode, Hannah. But I would say it was different to Hannah because I grew up in an environment where I didn't really have hijab around me. And even like now back home, I don't have like not most of my friends, but lots of my friends at uni are hijabis. And I'm so grateful for that because I've learned so much from them. And all those characters are big reasons that I'm wearing it today. But growing up, I wasn't that exposed to it. Well, I grew up in a Muslim city and country, so yes, it was very much around me, but not in my like close direct community and environment.
Yeah,
Um, and so when I started to like fall in love with Islam and learn more about the religion, I understood that it was or I believe that it's fard, and which
yeah,
means like it's obligatory.
yes,
And I wanted to learn more about why and how, and then all the reasons that Hannah outlined about the beauty, the fact that it has like it conveys visible boundaries, when you're speaking to
yes.
others,
That's a good way to
and
say it. Yeah,
beauty and the behind the modesty and like the way that you carry yourself. And it's not even like wearing a headscarf only, it's also like the way you communicate with others. And that's why I think it's so much more than just like a headscarf. And that's why I would say even before like I was this internal hijabi, because the way I carried myself was still very much, or at least I tried to be pretty modest about how I went about life. And I think wearing it now, the headscarf, is just it makes it easier, like I said earlier, to facilitate that. But I really struggle to answer the question actually, and that's why I like to ask other hijabis like you, Hannah, because I struggle to I struggle to explain so like concisely and effectively why I'm wearing it, and what I find beautiful about it, because
yeah,
there's so much, and I just don't really know how to put it into words. And I think that's why I've not really spoken about it in depth yet
yeah,
myself, like online or on like a podcast episode, because I think I'm still trying to figure out how to explain what I love about it.
yeah.
So it's really
That's
helpful to hear
really good.
people like you who did explain it pretty well. But that's a bit about my perspective. Any thoughts or any advice on like how you explain it?
No, I would definitely say as well, it gives that like shield, like that is the covering, that is the understanding that we have in Islam. But literally, what Seema said again, it is not only that, it is to also, when you are covered, you are more modest. The word modest alone, aside from covering, is to be more modest in your tone, modest in your actions, modest in your speech. And again, everything is a journey. Like figuring out what you love about it, figuring out what you don't love about it. I'm literally going through it at the same time as Seema. We started at the same time. But I think for me, because I've already experienced wearing it once, and not loving it, it's like now when I've put it on, it's like I'm doing it with intentionality, and a lot of things I try to do now is with intentionality. So especially wearing the hijab, as I love the phrase that you use, internal hijabi. I love that because again, like looking at my journey, I think I was becoming an internal hijabi like towards the end of uni, going into like the first few years of like the first year of work, and I started to build those traits where I wanted to. So when it came to that Ramadan event that Seema hosted that promoted it, and that Ramadan itself, so the last one that just went, 2025, I kind of like did my more I had a more of an intrigue to like read up why is it compulsory, why do I have to do this as a Muslim, why is this and this, and that's discovering Islam for yourself. So I think having that approach for me made me want to like fall in love with it more opposed to being told to wear it and like being up in that environment. But as well as that, like because this is a fresh start to wearing it, just those things about like feeling like protected and stuff, that aspect of it, I just feel like my dress sense reflects my personality now. So it's kind of like you
Mm.
can see it externally, literally what you said. Like I love that phrase. Like I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use that. But also like I love being. I think for me, it's also the community. Like throughout my journey of life, like I didn't really have. I only started fitting in uni, and figuring myself and out, and even in the corporate life, like being able to fit in and adapt, is something so great in the workplace. I think you should be able to talk to everyone, no matter what their religion is, who they are, but also having those people that you can count on because they know what you're going through is great. It really helps you. I think for me, it really helps me thrive in the environments that I am. So now, like, in if we're talking more work life, I'm in more environments where I'm placing myself because it's freelance. So marketing for brands that align with my values, align with what I want to, who I want to be. Doing a podcast, literally talking about Islam, like, is so is so intentional. Like everything I'm trying to do is intentional. Like where I place myself, who I how I come across. It's all really important to me because at the end of the day, I don't want to compromise my beliefs for money or like for work. I'm sorry, because I don't think I would feel I like money and everything is good like long term, but it doesn't make your heart happy. And I think my whole journey with Islam isn't been to not only like just to like achieve heaven or like achieve in Islam, like everything we do in this life is for like our Lord, so we can get to that heaven, but also because it's actually like this rubric, this rule book that Allah has gave me, like God has gave me, has literally made me like understand why things are wrong and why things are right, like why things are halal and things are haram. And literally like with that I know like even like there's things that are as small as like, you know how we were saying before, like why things are made the way they are in Islam. It just makes too much sense to me. Like even like as small as like it's a sunnah means like it's an extra act of worship that you can get rewarded for, to smile at people. Like the way that God has been so meticulous in everything that He's written, like wearing hijab, promoting modesty, even if you don't wear hijab in your internal hijabi, like in the way you actions and the way you speak. Like God is literally promoting you to live a happy life because you're not spreading hate, you're not gossiping, you're not talking negatively. Like these things are haram, like these things are not right. So finding out for myself why things are the way they are and like being like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me personally, has made me like fall in love with it. So I think with any religion, like if you're Christian, if you're Jewish, um if you're even atheist, everything you believe is like based off why it makes sense to you as a person, your individual thing, how you feel. And even in Islam, it's like I think a lot of people think as well. Like there's a lot of stereotypes about every religion, but even in this podcast, like everything I'm saying and like for people who aren't Muslim, I hope it's something that is more my personal journey, my how I feel. And if anyone ever has any questions, like my LinkedIn or I don't know what you want to tag, um, I literally will tell you from my everything I say is my personal experience. So, and I can only guide you from that. So, yeah, I think that's like how I fell in love with it. To answer your question, and yeah, yeah,
What you said about like your personal experience and how like it's true, right? Like everything we're talking about now is like we're not scholars, we're just talking about our
yeah,
personal experience and we're just talking about our perspective and our appreciation for our deen and our journeys in life and our experiences. You talked a bit about and we said earlier that this is something we want to touch on later, so I would like to bring it back up now. But the idea of like being a woman in your career and what you're doing now on the more entrepreneurial route, I'd love to hear more about that and how you're navigating things, having the experience in corporate at such a young age, maybe some of the lessons you've learned from that and that you're now implementing in your journey of taking things more freelance.
definitely, definitely. So yeah, me and Seema and I had a another shared experience. We both worked at Adobe for our first like corporate jobs, my first corporate experience, and I think that definitely has shaped me in a lot of ways. It's a huge blessing to be a part of such a huge company where you get to experience things that you never ever experience. Um, but again, I think it's like that imposter syndrome. I found it really hard to personally adapt to being around people and environments and situations that I'm not doesn't align mostly with my internal hijab and my personal values. So there was like some things that I did where it was promoting like music and stuff, and in Islam that is not something that we do. Like listening to music in Islam is not promoted. I don't want to speak too much. Again, I'm not a scholar, but it has. I could say we would say the lyrics is not really promoted. I don't think all lyrics internally, subconsciously give you good meaning to your days. They're not very beneficial. But also instrumentally, I personally need to learn that more for myself and understand. I'm figuring out why it is the way it is. But again, through that, there's a lot of experiences where I just didn't have, I guess, those boundaries put up, because I think when you're internal hijabi, it's kind of a lot harder. I don't know, to like express that, because it's like you're not outwardly showing it, so you kind of have to like, do extra explaining. And I think my motto this year, like coming out of that environment, is I don't want to have to explain myself as much, and not even just that environment, but like me as a person. Like I don't need to over explain. I can explain where it accommodates, but like I don't want to be an over explainer anymore. I don't want to have to people please people. But again, like the people, the team, the experiences were great. Just overall, I don't know how much it aligns to my future goals. But it was the best stepping stone I could have had, and I would literally like, I still don't know like if I would love to go back in corporate again, maybe in a different team doing different things. Like the company is so big, there's so much things, it's such a great company. There's so many avenues you can go down. So like I'm literally still figuring out. I've only a few months out of that environment. I was very much supported by people who were non-Muslims that didn't understand me and have that common, that deeper ground we were talking about. But I still felt like really appreciated. So I think it's just something that I'm trying to figure out what I want to do long term. So within that gap, I'm kind of like rebranding, I guess you could say. I'm again like figuring out myself, similar to hijab. And I think now, because I've come out of that, we were saying it was a lot harder to like put it on there, because people know you a certain way. It's kind of harder. You have those inner thoughts of like, oh my god, what is someone going to say when I'm now wearing hijab? And also, not only that, regardless of what anyone's going to say, it's just like wearing hijab and being on calls, and you don't even know how to do hijab styles at that point, and like what suits you, and you're just like throwing yourself in the deep end. For me, it was a lot scarier. So when I came out of that job, I thought like, okay, now I can practice before I fully commit. So that was kind of my journey again with hijab. And then went to Umrah, to pilgrimage, felt like the most closeness ever to my religion, and came back and was like, I've practiced, I've kind of figured out what I like, so now I can just fully do it. And same with work. Like when I was in that pilgrimage in Umrah, that is like the most blessed place on earth, where you can kind of ask God for like whatever you want. It's kind of like a genie like pot, like how people say like you can literally like ask your wishes. And I prayed that I find my dream job. Literally, I was like, I had so many different prayers. Hijab, to like wear it properly full time, which has been accepted because I do wear it by Allah's mercy, by God Himself, by God's mercy. And then with my job, I'm still figuring out. I've got a lot of different opportunities since coming out that kind of shaped me as well. Some humbled me, some I thrived in. So it's definitely not linear. It's crazy. It's around the place right now, but I'm okay with it. I literally know that I'm happy, and I'm happy. I want to figure myself out, because I know I'm literally 23, and I know I'm not gonna have, when I'm older, when I have children and a family, and I won't have this time again. So I'm like taking advantage of it. And traveling as well, getting to travel there. Got some travels in mind. I know Seema's like an avid traveler, and I love that for her. I can tell she's well traveled. But like just discovering yourself, I think because I had such imposter syndrome in corporate, it was more not only just not having that deeper common ground with everyone, but it was also just being like 20. I was literally 21, and I went into my first corporate job. I remember my cousin worked in the same building. When I used to see her, I used to be like, oh my God, is it bad if I come into the office like once a week or twice a week, when you don't have to, like, when I didn't have like like a scheduled, I had a like hybrid working environment. So I was like, how does that look on my personal brand in the workplace? Like just such silly questions, like when can I take my break? Like there's so many like silly things that you don't really know, because no one's actually taught you. and like how do I do this basically, and you kind of just have to act like you have it all in check. And me, I really can't act. I'm not a good code switcher. I'm just myself. So I really thrived in the environments where there was people like me. Like my role was mostly working with students, and I know that I had such good relationships with those students. Like I definitely being in the times when there was such great experiences where I hosted events for them, where I literally made a whole student ambassador program before I left, which is
Yeah.
hope I it looks like it's thriving right now thanks to um my colleague who I was working with at the time. But it literally there's such good experiences from it. There's things that I just didn't think, just knew that I wanted to have in my next job. But yeah, even now I'm like, do I want to go back in corporate? What type of corporate? Is it a SME, a small business, a big business? Is it community with more Muslim people? Is it community with? Is it easier because I already wear hijab, so the boundaries kind of set? I don't need. I People know what I'm comfortable with, and they will be more. It's not only I think as well. I think all in a lot of environments they will always be comfortable with what your boundaries are. However, it's those environments that kind of push you and they kind of accommodate you more. That like they ask you like, oh, is this okay? Are you comfortable being on camera? Are you comfortable etc. I literally love those because I feel like I'm a very empathetic person. Personally, I'm very understanding. So if people are understanding me, I love that. And in the freelance world, I feel like you can kind of set your tone on what you want to do. I've freelanced for like recruitment companies, um, like abaya, modest brands, especially this Ramadan as well. Like a lot of modest brands are doing their thing, selling their abayas, as well as that, like so many different things, like a laser company. So literally, there's just so many different environments that I'm literally 23. I'm figuring out it's okay, and as long as I'm happy, for me that's a very important thing that I want in my next workplace. And I think all alongside all of that, I really wanted to work on my personal brand and like making sure that shines through. So hopefully today you guys kind of get an understanding of me, and I hope, yeah, like I definitely want to be someone who's inspiring, like for fit in whatever job I choose, like long term, whatever career I go into, I want to be someone who's inspirational, but like real as well. Like again, we're not scholars. We are not people who are qualified to talk on certain things. So I don't want to say certain things I don't know. But everything I'm saying is literally my own experience and everything I believe in. And I hope that I think real experiences, storytelling, especially in marketing, like I did marketing in corporate, really is the things that is what works on socials. Like you need to have a story behind everything you do, every brand. So this is literally my story, and you guys, I think this is the first time I'm actually saying it publicly. So it's really nice. Thank you so much again, Seema, for the opportunity to do that.
Of course. I love hearing your story. And it's really interesting to hear what you said about like the misalignment in the beginning, because your role was involved a lot of events related to music. And that's something I also think about quite a bit sometimes. And it's something I also like have to question. And, like, is what I'm doing day to day fully aligning with my values? If not, what am I gonna do to change that? That's I think a challenge of life, isn't it? Something everyone goes through, and doesn't matter if you're religious or not. I think a very important practice, and literally one of my mentors from Adobe encouraged me to do this, and she's not like religious, but she said, write out your values, like what is most important to you, and as per those values, rank what's important to you in life, and what's important to you in a career. Like, what do you want to get out of your role and what you're doing day to day? And even the other day, like I've been quite I hesitate to use the word busy sometimes, because what does busy even mean,
Yeah.
in reality you have full control over your time, but that's for another episode. But yeah, like the other day I was telling someone how I'm busy, and she was like, you need to sit and rank your priorities and check how much what you're doing is aligning with those priorities. So that's what I'm gonna do after we record the podcast today, because I really need to
Love
get my
that.
priorities straight. Um, but yeah, so like my point was that in life it's just it's you're facing this battle of your priorities, and then what activities you're doing and how they're competing against your priorities. And so linking that to religion and whether your values or your tasks and sometimes what your job asks of you is in alignment with that is another thing to consider, you know, and like what you said about looking for new opportunities. Is it going to be easier now that you have it more externally displayed? Is it not? Or should you actively look for communities with more like-minded people? These are all questions that are important for us to consider. And like you say, because we're early in our careers, it's a great time to experiment, to try different things, and to learn from those experiences and mistakes. Um, and yeah, I think this is such a great time to quote unquote make mistakes. And that's something that's a big lesson I learned at Adobe because I used to be so afraid of making mistakes and failure. But now it's opposite. I look for areas. I'm literally interested
Yeah.
in opportunities where I know I'm gonna fail because
Oh,
I'm
wow.
like, I want to learn. I want to grow from this. Sign me up. Um, so yeah, but um, something I would be curious to ask you, Hannah, if you're comfortable sharing, is what is something right now that you feel you're challenged with, or that you're struggling with, and that you feel you are interested in improving at, or maybe setting a goal for to get better at.
Ooh, that is a good question. Ooh. I think personally for me, again, like a whole reflection of the journey and what you said, Seema, like learning yourself and understanding what is not what you need to work on. I think I'm always someone who wants to learn where I can do better, and I think you can see that with like my whole journey with hijab, with Islam. Like, why is this how it is? Like, I'm a very curious person. When it's something like I'm passionate about, and I think for me, is having that consistency, like in this new chapter wearing hijab, having that consistency in that new chapter with the workplace, like remembering what the end goal and what it's all for is quite hard. Like, especially like every day if you're trying to build a personal brand. Like for me, I definitely thrive in making brands for others. Um, but like with my personal brand, just being consistent in knowing like, okay, it's cringe right now, but it has a goal. And I think everyone has that thing in their mind where they're like, oh, this is so cringe. Again, like those that overthinking, like, oh, what am I gonna look like if I turn in to the office with a hijab today? Like all these things of just overthinking. Like every single person that has like thrived in their careers in long term had to go through those stages where they were cringe. Like they had, if it's like social media, they had less views on their posts. If it's doing podcasts or anything, just putting themselves out there. I was telling Seema reached out to me a while ago, and I was like, I don't know, girl, I'm kind of shy. But I feel like now, because I'm at that stage where I'm like becoming a lot more comfortable with things. And again, I think this is really important to say: do things at your own pace. Do not force yourself too much. I would say definitely, um, like have an intention, and if you have an intention, um, just reach for it. Even in Islam, everything is based on intention, which is another beautiful thing about our religion. Like talking about religion, this episode is intention is everything. Like I really want to live intentionally, personally, but also my religion promotes it. Like something could come across wrong between you and a friend, but if you had the intention where you didn't mean it, in Islam you're automatically forgiven by God. So there's things like this, having that intentionality with what my goal is and being consistent is something that is challenging for me, and it is something I'm experiencing while I am also navigating this 23 personal brand, hijab, workplace experience. But I feel like because I have, again, this is another Islamic word. I feel like I love these conversations where you just talk with a friend. Like I feel like about Islam and it just rolls off your tongue because you guys just, it's that deeper connection again. Like Seema knows what I'm talking about, but like that's why I'm explaining to everyone else. Yaqeen, like in Islam, yaqeen means in Arabic it means trust, like trust in Allah, like full trust in God's plan, full trust that I can't control what is gonna happen, but God's got it. Like if something goes wrong, I'm not gonna be angry. If it didn't go the way I planned, it's planned better for me. And I think growing up as well, I was such like a planning person, like very like like I used to get really easily irritated. It's like OCD, like really easily irritated if things didn't go my way. But like coming back from Umrah, I think from Umrah that was for me the pilgrimage where I kind of like really just left all my, like everything I felt in that city, in that place with God, And like everything that I was feeling up until that point. It's also known that like it's also said that Umrah always comes at the best times for people. So like when it's written for you, I think everything in Islam when it's written for you is the best time. Like whatever is planned for you, whatever time is written is the best time. And I think especially when you're navigating like being 23, like oh my god, I should probably have my life sorted out right now. I should be in a I should be making this many figures. I should be married. I should be so and so. Like this is all social media. This is all what's happening around you. But like what do you really feel like? What is God leading you to? Why do you have to fail at one of those things to get better at that in the future? Why is it happening? Like I think when I was in that city and experiencing that experience, I literally had all these feelings of like just not understanding myself, going there, like saying it to God, like crying literally in tears outside the most like beautiful, blessed place where everyone, like millions of people have come from around the world to that one place to do that same thing that you're doing. It's crazy. Like you're looking at people crying in their prayers, and it's like, wow, like it's like subhanallah, like we say, like you literally, sorry about that, you literally feel like in awe, like you want to feel like you feel it so much. Sorry, I just got thrown off like something. But you want to feel it so deeply, and you feel it so deeply, and I really left everything there. So coming back, unpacking that now, I'm like, it's okay if something doesn't work out how it was meant to work out, and on to the next. Like a part of this freelance journey, it might direct me to something long term corporate. It might not. It might be that I have my own business. I feel like I'm quite entrepreneurial, so it might be that. I don't know, but I just have so much yaqeen, so much trust in Allah that whatever happens, it was written, and I'm okay with it. And that was very hard for me. Like if you asked me a few years ago, if something didn't go my way, I would be like, no, why did that not go my way? So yeah, definitely that is my challenge question.
So, would you say so about the things going your way versus not really going your way? Is that something you say you're still facing as a challenge and you're slowly getting better at?
Yeah, definitely. I
Yeah.
think I think
Okay.
like it doesn't happen. It's not linear. Like everything is a journey. Like it's not gonna happen straight away where you're like fully not pleasing humans, like, and just God. It takes time. That was another thing that I asked when I was there. Like it's so
Mm.
deep, and I don't think it's quite hard to understand. But like subconsciously, even the actions that you do, if it's just to please humans and it's going against something that is wrong, just to make people happy, it's not beneficial for you. So I think these things don't happen straight away. We're actually humans. God knows we're not perfect. He made us. So it's a journey, yeah.
Yeah. So, having said that, can I give you a challenge, Hannah?
Oh, okay. Go on.
Okay, and you can choose to accept it, decline it, or propose an alternative.
Okay.
It's a bit
Got
flexible.
it. Yeah.
So, because it's the idea of like, planning things and then not because, the reality of life is things don't always go to plan. Because this is something that you feel you're getting better at, you're getting there, alhamdulillah, and inshallah you'll I mean, again, like things are never perfect, but
Yeah.
you'll get only better and better at accepting that reality. I would like to challenge you for to act in a certain way whereby the next time something doesn't go to plan for you and maybe you feel like your instant reaction is to get a little bit upset or bothered, I want to challenge you to instead um, go to the mirror, look at a mirror, or even if you're not near a mirror, open your phone, camera roll, look at your face, and smile and say, I've got this and I'm gonna be okay.
Oh.
And you have to have evidence that you've done this. You can choose what the evidence is, whether it's like taking a video, or you could even have like a notes page tally chart, and you like add a one tick to the tally every time you've done this,
Mhm.
until that you feel like it's almost as if it's become a habit where every time something doesn't really go okay, you're gonna smile it off until you rewire your brain to just accept and to move on.
Oh.
How do you feel about that?
I will accept. I think that is a really good way. It's a really unique, different way to do it. and I'm excited. I think again, it's that thing of like feeling cringe, especially like having your own recording of like yourself. But that's
Mhm.
that's like something that I want to overcome. So I would be more than happy to accept your challenge, Seema.
Wonderful. And who's gonna keep you accountable?
Oh, maybe it should be you, since you said it. I can leave it to you. I can leave it to my partner. I can leave it to my family. Oh, I don't know. Who's the most suitable fit? I think since this is our discussion, I'm gonna send it to you if that's okay.
Of
Um,
course.
because we definitely connected in this conversation, and I think this is like a long-term goal that everyone has. So it will be good.
Yeah.
I think as well the way you explained it as well, and your whole vision behind it, you can kind of see if I'm getting it right, you know?
Exactly. Okay, well, I'll be happy to. So I'll be expecting to receive a video or a screenshot of your tallies. But I think, like you said, it's about overcoming that cringe. So if I was you, the video, or if you want, you can just keep the video for yourself and send me the tally, whatever you're comfortable with. But
Oh,
I do find that videos are really good and effective for me at least. Like I like to take videos, recordings of myself speaking positively to myself.
yeah.
So in front of that mirror right there.
No, that's super
Um,
healthy. Love that.
So, yes, that's an exciting challenge for you. And to make it time bound, um, obviously it's like whenever you remember or whenever there is a situation where you feel that. Um, but like, yeah, I mean, I can't anticipate when it will happen, but I'll probably expect something within the next month at least.
Okay. Okay, she's
I
on a
just
strict
hope
timeline,
that's not to the
guys.
extent that it's like really not to plan, but we trust God's plan.
Yes, always.
Um, Okay, to end the episode, Han, I'd love for you to share with the audience what is one way of spreading serotonin that you would recommend everyone to try.
Ooh, serotonin. I think just based off the episode itself and like being around family, friends this Ramadan, I would definitely encourage everyone to go to a loved one and in whatever love language is your love language, if your acts of service, quality time, physical touch, whatever that is, whatever um you are out of those, show that to a loved one. I think spreading serotonin and smiles this Ramadan is it's also about being around family and having good relationships with people, kinship. So I definitely will be doing that after this podcast because we don't know when we're gonna live another day, guys. I know that's really deep. That's so deep. But literally, we don't know what Allah God has in store. So we should literally take every moment that we have to like appreciate each other. I think appreciation is really important. And I was talking to my friend about this yesterday. Like our love languages. I love like especially with friends and like my partner and my family, like especially like understanding what their love languages are so that you can always accommodate theirs and they can accommodate yours. Like it's just the best because you really feel like gotten, you really feel seen. So definitely I think that's the way I would spread serotonin.
I love that. So everyone take the time to be intentional and put that extra step and effort to understand someone's love language. I really like that I need to do that too. Because we think a lot about ourselves, right? We're innately
Yeah,
humans are a bit selfish, but think about how like it's like perspective taking. How would someone else want this to be received, you know? So
definitely.
thanks. It was so fun to have you on as a guest. I loved our conversation so much. So thank you everyone for listening. We appreciate you being here and we hope this gave you serotonin and have a lovely rest of the day. And for those fasting, Ramadan, well, to everyone, Ramadan Kareem.
Ramadan Kareem, guys. Take care. Bye.
Bye.